Howdy there, fellow Shadow Priest or PvPers in general. Today we are talking about what should we pay attention to when we're in Arena. Now this is a very philosophically interesting question to me because I spend so many hours playing this game, and if you're like me and you really love PvP, it's worth asking yourself, what am I paying attention to and what should I be looking out for? So if you're a new player, I hope this video really helps you, and if you're trying to take your game to the next level, we're going to analyze what the pro players, what the rank 1 players, what they look out for. To prepare for this video, I asked a bunch of people what they pay attention to in Arena, and let's see what they have to say. Alright, so out of all the people that I asked, I think Tuna actually gave me the best and most serious answer, and he had a couple of things to say. He said diminishing returns, team cooldowns, when to go, team cooldowns defensively, enemy trinkets, enemy cooldowns, enemy positioning, and my own positioning. And he's a healer, so he has to be aware of a little bit more than your average player. I think healer is definitely harder to play in most cases. So let's take a look at the first thing he said, DRs. He wants to know, when is it a good time to do a stun? He's going to be stunning the kill target for them, and he gets to pick who he wants to go, right? Does he want to stun the Feral here when they don't have any CC on the Priest? Probably not. Does he want to stun the Hunter when the other two aren't CC'd? Probably not. He's just paying attention to when is the opportune time to actually do the setup, and are they on stun DR? Because obviously if they're on stun DR, he's not going to reset that DR. You want the diminishing return to fall off before you apply another stun so you get the full effect. Here they see that we get a stun onto the Feral, so this is going to be DR'd in about 2 seconds. And they're also going to force Roar of Sacrifice with the Mage's Combustion. So he's looking at his team's offensive cooldowns, and he knows, okay, we're doing a go here, we're doing big damage, I'm gonna make a play and call it a swap for our team. So he uses his awareness, sees the Hunter out of position, stuns the Hunter, and then check this out. He builds combo points, gets another stun with 0.0 seconds left, stuns him again, 0.01 seconds, 0.0 seconds, stuns him again. And that's just 3 stuns in a row because he was aware of the CC duration and the diminishing returns and just how that situation was going to play out. Now, he could have easily went over there and tried to restun the Feral's Trinket. He could have stunned the Priest for CC, but based on the positioning, he knew that this was the best thing to do. So let's watch that in full speed and play it with sound so you can hear how they set that up.
Thank you. I have MD. I'll just play safe and go feral.
Casting. Push it. I can butt.
Hit on her. Yo, kill him.
Yeah,
Ready?
Okay, so
Yeah, sure.
I re. Biggest Sam. He has the turtle here.
Where's that?
What the fuck?
Now, you don't win that game unless you make a sick play like that. So that's just awareness at its highest level. That's rank 1 play at its highest level right there. Alright, this is actually a video from Hansel on YouTube, and it's him using an eye tracker in 3v3, so you can physically see everything that he's looking at, and this is super interesting. He looks like he's bouncing back and forth from his action bars to the positioning of the enemy team and the CCDR, so much of what Tuna was saying, he's always trying to look up to set up the kill, like is it safe to push in, who do we do our go on? It's just a quick, like rapid way to update the strategy of the game. So he gets the counterspell onto the Priest here. He's looking at the DR. Is he off Sheep DR? Yes, he's off Sheep DR. Does he have a blink charge? Yes, he has a blink charge. He's going to blink in, land the angle on the Priest, land the Sheep while he can't death, and now they know that they can do a setup onto somebody. So the Warrior Stormbolts the Feral. They try to do damage, but the Feral gets away. He checks out, okay, Hunter's in my line, I can still hit him, bouncing between them. Now they're kind of in limbo, so there's not really much he can do. The best thing he can probably do here is try to slow the game down and control the Hunter until their next go. Gets feared by the Priest. Probably is talking about how he could have easily avoided that. Power infusion from the Hunter. You see he looked up at his buffs. He's like, oh, he has PI. Look, now I have PI. And this is actually going to be huge later in the game because he's going to land a crazy Sheep where the Priest should have been able to death it. So he's going to CC the Hunter. Warrior catches back up to him. He sees that the Feral and the Priest are both stacked up, and he's like, oh my god, this is the most prime Door of Shadows. So he doors onto both of them. Insanely quick placement of the ring, like Jesus Christ, I don't know how he does that, he's so good. He's gonna get kicked on the ring, but since he has the power infusion that he had the awareness to steal earlier, with 1 second left, he lands the Sheep. The Priest can't death it, activates Combustion, sees that he has his 2 Fire Blast charges, sees that Roar of Sacrifice is up, instantly looks over, where's the Hunter? He's in the opener, I'm gonna shoot the rest of my damage at him. And damn, that's just a fast game. And that's just like a beautiful arena clip. There's just so much that's happening moment to moment, and this is why I love the game so much. I don't care how broken it is. I don't care what Windwalkers can do. Like, there is a lot of beauty in the complexity of this game, and when everything is going right, it's like this symphony of variables that just combine to make like a really sick feeling when everything goes right and everyone's playing on point. So with all this crazy awareness going on, the more you share with your team and the more you can communicate how to set up properly. Okay, I have my stun in 5 seconds. Can you keep him slowed for me? Or can you, like, if you can CC this guy, I can get this guy. It's just a lot of back and forth between the two CC classes. So definitely take some time to watch Hansel and Tuna play together, and you'll see that even like 15 seconds from the next go that they're about to do, they're already talking about like, okay, we win when we do this. Like, they know the win conditions so well because they played so many games. They played against all these popular comps. They know how to win. They know how to do the setups. And this is just one of the reasons why the game is so fun, to learn how to manipulate these different variables and set up win conditions from your team. I have the most fun actually when I've been getting farmed and then I queue and figure out the strategy. Like, if you're losing to a comp and then you can figure out how to win, that is really rewarding to me. And that's going to come down to a lot of awareness. So if you can kind of watch back and see where you're fucking up and what to pay attention to in the future, you are going to have a lot more success in this game. So after watching that insane play from Tuna, let's just take a look at a basic game. One of the most recent games we played as Rogue Shadow Priest Shaman. What we're typically looking for as a Shadow Priest and as a caster, I want to look for opportunities in windows to cast. I mean, it's going to be really hard to do damage getting trained by this team. I want to try to keep my dots up at all times, so I'm going to dot this hunter. Dot his 2 pets while he's lining. I know I can't get interrupted. I have VTs on 3 targets. He feigns mine off, so I use Damnation to reapply them. So we have dots on all the targets. This is looking great for us. I'm mostly just paying attention to doing damage and making the priest go boom. Boom. Now the game changes. The CC comes in. We're getting feared off this trap. I see Nespert cheap shots the hunter, and the Pharaoh's behind the pillar, so I know that I don't have to fake cast this. And this is just my awareness of the Pharaoh's positioning and the hunter CC'd, so this enables me to free cast the MD. Otherwise, I get kicked here and I'm forced to disperse. So this is just one small aspect of awareness. Now I'm playing on the pillar, so that my games that was coming at me from the priest, I easily was about to sidestep and line it, but he cancels the cast. My positioning now, the hunter isn't able to freely hit me if I move to the right. I'm going to use my ability to cast while they're far away from me. The hunter was line, he couldn't kick me. The Pharaoh was out of line as well. So I'm able to actually control their pressure by my positioning. We silence the mind games while the Pharaoh's kidneyed. So this is just the awareness that we're doing a go. We're communicating when we're going to stun. This is bad awareness that I get interrupted. One thing Tuna also mentioned was just paying attention to enemy cooldowns. So I think if Tuna was playing Shadow Priest there, he wouldn't have sent that Void Form, or at the very least would have fake casted another better global cooldown, would have been Shadow Fiend. That way I could have aptly timed my CC. So now that I know that we're going for the kill, I'm looking, what tools do I have to finish this game? Well, I still have Psychic Horror, and I still have Fear, and my Rogue still has Blind. So I'm aware of my teammates' cooldowns. I know that we still have Smoke Bomb. I know that I still have Maledict. Like, there's so many things we can do to shut this game out. So I call out that I'm going to Horror the Priest. This gives Nesper the time to move across and blind perfectly. You see right as this stun is ending, he gets the blind off. And now this is going to ensure that he doesn't get deathed on the blind, which is a way to break the CC. It also ensures that the priest doesn't get any additional healing. He could have easily hit a Radiance and the Pharaoh would have went up in HP. We're just timing our CCs very well, and this is the type of awareness that you need to beat really good teams and really good players. The next thing we're going to look out for in this game, I know that the Pharaoh can roar my shackle, but since he's so far away from me, I see a really good window to get it off here. Now the priest gets interrupted and they're just overwhelmed on damage. I death to cancel the shackle and we win the game. So those are just really small examples of things I'm paying attention to throughout the game. All right, we're going to take a look at the healer perspective. This is Dilbar, 9-time rank 1 AWC Shaman, so definitely experienced player. I think what healers are often tasked with in Arena is communicating the defensive cooldowns of their team. We fought this team so many times in this night that we know exactly what buttons to press. So we're going to first trade anti-magic zone with combustion. That's just like a script, a formula that we're going to ride with. That way we never overlap our cooldowns. We always get value out of the zone, and our DK is used his trinket, so we still have Dilbar's trinket and my trinket to save each other. And it just takes a lot of synergy between the healer and the Shadow Priest to kind of arrange who's going to use what cooldown next. I believe the Shaman should generally always call the cooldowns and try to say ahead of time if the Shaman can save themselves or if it's up the Priest to swap. So I'm generally not going to swap until the Shaman has no trinket. And in this situation, I'm communicating that I cannot save him because I know that he is CC'd here and I am behind the pillar. So I'm just telling him it's him to save him. A lot of people will say it's you, meaning press your own cooldowns and don't die. So they get Dilbar's trinket, and then holy shit, they're already at the pillar. We love RMP. That RMP players hate us. So now that I know that Dilbar has no trinket, the rogue still has smoke bomb, we need to stay stacked up and not get separated, basically. So as soon as he is off stun DR, I need to start getting closer. They try to pre-sheep him. This is kind of like a telltale sign that they're going. We get ice block from the mage. I'm not quite sure why I fleshcraft here, but I'm saying that we need to stack.
I'm trying to stack with you, buddy, because I need to swap you.
Yeah, it's DB. Candied. Uh-oh.
Yeah, help them to get feared here.
Okay.
I can trigger swap. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, good. You're good.
So notice I said I need to stack up, I need to swap, and yep, that was the time to do it. He was going to die if I didn't do it there. So we have no trinkets. It's very sketchy.
He's just here, though. I can grip him.
One thing that is clear is that so we won't have any trinkets for 17 seconds. The DK has no zone when the mage has combustion, so we actually could have lost this game here. Luckily, we're able to finish the rogue off and win, but they still had a win condition. The mage has combustion, none of us have trinkets. This game could have been over for the other team if they're able to do a setup there. But since we rotated our cooldowns properly, we never overlapped, we were able to succeed and carry on. All right, so Calvish, the youngest threat on the NA ladder for rogues. When I asked him what does he pay attention to, he says, well, I pay attention to my positioning as a melee player. It's very important in my opinion, and what CC my team has. Is Chastise on CD? Is Fear on CD? Does my mage have blinks to DB Sheep? Diminishing return. So these are both related. He wants to know when should he actually start stunning things, because he doesn't want to commit a kidney shot or a cheap shot if his priest and mage cannot CC the other two targets. So RMP I think is the most setup comp in the game compared to like maybe a melee cleave where you just run in and pop all your cooldowns and kill people through healing. RMP can certainly do that, but it does require instantaneous cross CC. So generally the script is DB Sheep the off target, Chastise Fear the healer, maybe even pre-sheep the kill target, and cheap shot the guy as he DBs the other dude. So cheap shot the kill target, sorry. I don't play RMP, so I could be talking out of my ass right now, but that's just my perspective. He says diminishing returns. Obviously he doesn't want to stun into a DR stun. And then his dances, so these are all just like when can they actually set up their offensive kill. And a really good RMP is going to do flawless goes to win. And if you ever fuck up, you're just going to lose. That's just the name of the game against RMP right now. You can't overlap your trinkets. Like in that last clip, we perfectly rotated all of our trinkets. We survived, we won the game. And then he also says smaller shit after like disarming warriors and Warbreaker when I see them Warbreaker. So he's just talking about defensive play, like trying to survive. So this is all like, this first part is just landing a kill. Positioning can be defensive as well. He doesn't want to be too far from his healer. And he also wants to be close enough so that he can stun the necessary targets. All right, let's check out the One True King in real time. I'll play this clip with voice and then we'll go back over it in a second.
Oh my god, no way. Came out last second.
Nice RMP play right there, Kalish. So we'll mention a couple things, and I'll keep his message right here as a reference. So one thing he said was his dances, right? And what's really important about his dances is going to allow him to do his stuns. It's going to allow him to also sap off of this blind. So he gets disarmed but he sees that there's still like a half-second interval where he's going to be able to sap the priest. So he's asking for dispel, and once he gets dispelled, he just vanishes actually. So he gets the sap with, I think he could have danced for that if he did get dispelled, but unfortunate that his priest didn't get it. So he's going to sap off of this blind. So this is definitely a really nice play that he also calls for his priest to chastise the rogue. This makes sure that the rogue doesn't get faint off and the rogue doesn't vanish, he doesn't step away. They get pre-CC on the rogue, full sap onto the priest. They don't really want to commit to killing the mage at this point because he's out of the stuns and he is going to have shields and alter time, battle master. They're more likely to kill someone when they're stunned rather than just running around and kiting them. So they use the RMP presence of mind, the Omega 5-head IQ that it takes to play RMP, to swap to the target that has not been put on stun DR. So full sap on the priest, and then triple stuns on the rogue here. Big eviscerate, another cheap shot, another cheap shot, another, oh, big hit Scalvage, big, damn. Just so many cheap shots coming out, and he dies and vanish. So just really good play, you know, understanding that although you just forced Trinket from the mage, more cooldowns can be forced here. Like, don't take your foot off the gas pedal yet. Look for the next best opportunity and try to set something up and make a juicy swap. Alright, in this last Shadow Priest clip, I'm just going to walk you through exactly what I'm looking at in the moment based on my recollection. Right now, my Druid CC'd, Mass Dispel. That's the first thing I noticed there, that I need to get those CCs out. Next thing I noticed, Siphon's not on my bar. This is a really key play where I put the Siphon on my bar. Make sure you have that. I see that I'm in execute range. If you're ever below 35% against a warrior as a Shadow Priest, good idea to press Fade or Dispersion, preferably Fade first if you can. And then I'm also aware that this warrior gets sheeped on all his cooldowns, so the warrior is going to get sheeped, and then the ret is cloned, so unlikely that I have to press any more defensives here. We're going to go into full peel mode. I'm dotting both the DPS up. We're getting ready to do a setup onto this ret. I know the warrior has pummel here, so really important to not get kicked. Fake the pummel, doing damage to this guy. We're going to Siphon at the end of the CC, so look at the Ring of Frost duration, and then look when I press Siphon. Right as the Ring of Frost is over, I Siphon so the Druid can't heal through the damage. Also keeps the Druid global capped and he can't shift the sheeps. So if I put the Siphon up while the Druid CC, they're just going to kill it, but you know, it takes them a few seconds to kill it. We get more CC on the Druid, and we just double Mally on the Dispel. So that's also something to point out. I'm aware that my stun is off cooldown. As soon as his bubble ends, we have CC on the Druid. I instantly stun the ret. The Druid Trinket, I think Trinket dispels there, and then we re-Mally it there, get a bunch of more CC on the Druid, and just win that game very quickly based on the way we're able to CC. And definitely forcing Dispel and then shooting a Maledict is really nice too. I think that we do that against this team very easily, because they have to Dispel the sheeps at some point, and they just kind of get fucked. So look, he's going to Dispel the sheep there on the ret, and then we're going to get a Maledict onto this warrior. I'm going to Void Torrent with all my damage up and basically just kill him through his parry, because you can't really save yourself with parry against casters sometimes. So really important to know when that Dispel gets used, and just using your awareness to set up that CC. So solid game there. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If we went any further, the video would probably be too long, but thank you so much for making it this far. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to leave those in the comments. Also want to give a shout out to all the people who helped make the video: Calvish, Hansel, Tuna, Dilbar, for letting me use your clips. Thank you. And one last shout out to the Technically PvP podcast. I was on their podcast a couple weeks ago, and we did an episode on Shadow Priest and PvP, so definitely check that one out. That was a good one. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, post in the comments below. Look forward to some more content. Let me know what you want to see next, and check out the stream every night around 11 p.m. EST. I stream high-rated 3v3 Arena. So thank you again so much for watching. Appreciate all the support, guys. Peace.